In my last episode, we got a taste for deep water soloing for the first time, or rather, it was more shallow water bouldering. We developed a couple of boulders about 4 metres high in Scotland above water. And it was great, climbing with no ropes, no harness, no pads, no belayer. It was a really freeing experience. I really enjoyed it.
No bother!
So immediately we thought, let's do more of this. Let's get on a plane to the deep water solo capital of the world and let's climb some of those big Chris Sharma 30-metre king lines above the crashing waves. But little did I know I was in for a bit of a wake-up call here. Here's what happened.
Come on!
Just a few meters above water feels really scary.
I'm bottling it. This is horrible. Hazel was like, would you jump off that? I was like, absolutely not. Oh, so sore.
Oh no!
Man, that was epic. So epic.
Mallorca is this perfect little Spanish paradise that is just made for deep water soloing. The island is surrounded by these pristine limestone cliffs that are just begging to be climbed. The weather is perfect and the water is warm and crystal clear. There are hundreds and hundreds of documented lines all around the island. But this is really different from working a 4-metre boulder in a river on a rope 10 times before eventually trying to climb it free solo. This is a whole different kettle of fish. This is on-sighting from the ground up, or rather the sea up, 10, 15, 20 metres above the frothing waves. And these are proper limestone sport routes. It was clear as soon as I got there that I was not mentally prepared for this.
Right, we're here. Cala Sa now. Oh, it's gorgeous! Look at that! Oh, no, that's too big. I don't even think this is 10 metres, but it's f***ing huge. Would I jump from there? No way would I jump off that. Oh dear.
If I was going to climb at all on this trip, it was clear that I'd need some help, particularly with the mental aspect here. So I asked a 9A professional climber who specialises in coaching the psychological aspect of climbing to help me out. Her name is Hazel Findlay.
Climbing is a uniquely psychologically demanding sport. If you ask someone on the street, what is it like to cling to the side of a cliff face, they would be like, that's crazy. I was the first British woman to free climb El Cap. I was also the first British woman to climb E9 and 8C. Climbed E10, which is 8C plus trad. Deep water soloing is what we call free soloing, which is where you're climbing on your own without any equipment, and you're doing that above water. So it's like free soloing, but you've got this safety net, which is the water. Deep water soloing hinges on your ability to land properly when you hit the water. So you need to practice that landing first.
I've not done any deep water soloing at all, so I want to get. I am psyched, but I'm also really scared.
Yeah, fair enough. Deep water soloing is scary.
Yeah.
So let's just normalise that to begin with, right?
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So, the main thing is to just be super incremental with it. Jumping in, getting used to the height. I want you to also practice landing well. So you always want to land like this.
Okay.
Tuck things in, make things streamlined. Don't put your arms out. That's how you're going to wrench something.
Yeah.
Don't try not to put a leg out.
Right, psyched.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm psyched with this.
So how do you feel about jumping in here?
I feel like this is okay. The water here is so perfect. And I think I did the pencil okay. What do you think?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
you did really well. What we might do now is just have you sort of be in a bit of a climbing position and then take a fall. If you can get into a position where you're like, oh, I could fall here sort of thing.
Yeah. Nice.
Nice one.
Yeah, that was good.
Good landing. Got your legs out.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was all right.
Yeah, so it looked like you were a little bit hesitant before you went in.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
I really did convince my brain that I was like going for something hard, so that
Yeah.
it felt real. So yeah, I think that if it was actually like a hard move though, and I was 4 or 5 meters up, that would be, especially if I'm on site, and that would be scary.
Well, hopefully we can do this in a way where you might feel a little bit scared, but not really scared. Because
Yeah.
ideally, when we're trying to like get more comfortable with something, we don't want to have like experiences when we're like really freaked out, because actually that doesn't help. It makes you feel less confident.
Yeah. So here's some bit I learned for dealing with wet, slippy, soapy limestone near the sea, because it's slippy out there. Obviously, you're going to need chalk, and the limestone's really wet, so you're going to need to chalk up actually whilst you're climbing. But you don't want to fall in with your nice, shiny new Rungney chalk bag. You actually want to use an older one because, well, we're going to somewhat kind of destroy it a little bit. So what you want to actually do is remove the liner from the chalk bag, so when you fall in, it can dry quicker, because it's the liner that stops it drying. So liner is out. Now we've got this nice empty chalk bag. So we want to use the smallest amount of Magda's Super Dry as we possibly can to get us up the climb. And I reckon it's that. So we're talking not much. Because when you fall in, this stuff is just going to disappear. It's just not going to be there at all. I think the Super Dry is the best chalk for it because it's just so soapy and like humid that you just want the driest possible chalk that you can get. Super Dry is the one of choice. That chalk bag is ready to go. When you fall in, if you put that in the sun, that'll be dry in like an hour. Then, before you start climbing, you want to use a tiny amount of the world's most expensive chalk. It's not actually chalk, Maglock. Now we're talking like, I just dip my hand in like this much and then rub it on my hands, and it's going to basically disappear. That's normal, that's okay. That's your base layer. Then you chalk up with Super Dry. And then you're ready to go. And when you fall in, your chalk bag will be dry within a couple hours at least, and you can go again. Repeat the cycle. If you want to get your hands on the best chalk in the world, or fantastic chalk bag, or fantastic climbing apparel, visit Rungney, and with my code MikeBoyd you can get 10% off anything you want. Thank you very much to Rungney for supporting the show. They've been long-term supporters of this channel. Go check them out. And with that, back to the video.
So next we move to a slightly more intense part of the crag. This is the bit where the actual proper climbing routes actually start. It felt intimidating.
You do have to consider that in deep water soloing, that there's other things that can make it feel scary, like the waves were choppier, there was jellyfish floating in the water, it was also in the shade, so the water looked all dark and deep and unknown. And yeah, just there's that wildness sometimes.
And I am not too psyched about this bit, if I'm being honest.
And looking at this footage, it really doesn't look like that much. Like early 20s Mike would have called this guy a complete but I was genuinely a bit anxious here.
The volley, that side is a bit too much, yeah. Jelly clock!
I think part of it is you're not jumping off like you would jump off a cliff. You're climbing. So and I'm used to jumping onto mats. I've practiced that thousands of times. But I'm not falling onto a mat here. I'm falling into water, and it's different. You need to pencil dive. It's hard.
You really need to know how you're going to get out. And if there's not an easy way to get out, put a rope in place with a buoyancy aid at the bottom of it.
The shots where I'm climbing out the water here are the hardest climbing I did on that day. It's really, really difficult to heave yourself out of the water onto these razor sharp grey limestone knives. So we went a little bit higher up on a climb that was still super easy.
We're going to go climb down, see how you feel at certain heights. Sometimes you've got to down climb the easiest route at the crag just to get to the other climbs, right? So if you can't easily down climb that grade, then it's probably not the crag for you. So how do you feel at this height?
Like being here is fine because I'm standing on the ledge, right?
Yeah.
But like you just asked me to just jump off that, I would just say no. Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm not going to ask you to do that because that's not going to help anyone. You could down climb a bit and jump off. So if you fell here, do you think it would be a positive experience for you?
Absolutely negative experience.
You sure?
I think I'd survive, but
Yeah.
it'd be the end of my deep water soloing career for sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well,
That
we should definitely go lower then for your practice pool.
That would be a negative experience. Yeah.
You know, I wasn't judging Mike's climbing, but like, you know, you just do it sort of on a subconscious level and just like thinking about the next few days and what we could get him on. And I was like, like, he doesn't look like he's maybe as good as what he says he is. I know that sounds bad. But then I realized, you know, it's because he's stressed. It's because he's in this new environment and he was going to take a fall and it was just clearly like a bit much for him.
Yeah, I'm hesitating.
Yeah, I would go a little lower.
I think this is. I don't think I should go any lower. I think going lower is copping out.
I wouldn't think of it that way. I mean, you're getting higher now.
I need to get this over and done with. This is horrible. The hesitation is what.
Do you want to come back up and rest?
Nah, I want to do it. Ah, I hurt my arse.
Uh-oh.
Ah,
He said he hurt his arse.
arse is so sore.
Oh no! Uh-oh, what happened?
Oh, the water went up. I feel like the water went up my bum.
Oh no! Oh, that's bad.
Why is my arse so sore?
Salt water enema.
Oh yeah.
Basically, you sort of forced yourself to do it,
Yeah.
and then you were a bit stressed.
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
didn't focus on what you needed to
needed to
do.
do.
I'd go on and on about building up slowly and da-da-da-da-da.
And then I
and
ignore you.
people think that I'm being boring. But like, there is good reason.
Yeah. With the last fall I took, Hazel was like, "You're clearly very stressed. You're clearly freaking out here. Why don't you just chill out and come up, relax, and then go back down and then take the fall?" And I was like, "No, I'm going for it." And I totally messed up the pencil dive and ended up getting what is essentially an enema. It was an extremely uncomfortable experience and one that I do not intend to repeat. But if anyone's had that before, comment below because I haven't. I didn't know that could happen. But I think that was actually a good learning experience because I'm not going to do that again. Pencil dives from now on. Yeah, so psyched for tomorrow. We'll see what happens.
Mike was already more confident on the second day.
Just for the record, me and Hazel are just making up a route that's not in the topo at all. Technically, that's the first ascent you just got.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want me to take some falls again?
I think we should practice some falls, yeah, because I think you could just climb this route,
And that, yeah.
but you'd be like free solo mentality.
Yeah.
Whereas I think if you practice some falls at the start, you'd only be in a free solo mentality at the very top.
And is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. Remember your pencil.
Yeah. Oh, this is nice. I didn't feel
Yeah.
stressed there at all.
Nice.
Yeah, like
No enemas.
no enemas.
Yeah. Cool. All right, so what do you feel like you want to do next?
I think just one move higher.
He just seemed like he was gaining confidence to the point where he was like, okay, I think I'm confident enough to climb the rest of the climb. This is Mike actually going for the big send. He's actually wearing his hat and his jumper. So that's how confident he is. Nice.
So like right now, yeah, I'm effectively on-sighting,
Yeah,
but I actually feel like if this all went tits up, I could handle that fall.
yeah,
This is good.
yeah, great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sick. So chilled.
So we still have like a bit to go.
Yeah.
So we're in free solo mode now.
Solo mode for the first time ever.
Nice. Sick.
Woo!
Yeah.
Solo.
First one, buddy.
Did it. That was so cool because I really got to enjoy it because I was like, just like not in my pants. It was so nice.
It's actually more fun.
So nice, yeah.
It feels quite freeing.
Totally. Yeah, I just felt so chilled. Yeah, so we've just finished the first one we did. Now Hazel's spotted a route around here that's could traverse.
And then it's like, okay, which bit of the wall can we get out of that feels nice?
Yeah.
And this is what DWS is all about. It's all about just like dipping down. Like you can follow the guidebook, but you can also just climb down where you can and climb out where you can.
Yeah.
And just pick your own adventure.
Yeah, sick. Cool. We are at my sort of upper limit of absolutely happy to fall. I think I would fall in that and I'd be okay. It's just making this whole experience much more calm. I can take my hand off and just chill a bit because I can actually think straight because I'm calm.
Nice.
Yeah, which is what we wanted, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I do like a bit of traversing, it's fun.
Yeah, it's because you're British.
Because it's easy. With that confidence that I gained from jumping in from increasingly higher heights on this climb, I felt confident enough to actually start climbing it properly and feel relaxed. And then I started to see what the deep water solo fuss is all about. I started to feel the flow, climbing without a harness, climbing without clipping your rope, climbing without a bailer, and just being completely free. And it really is the purest form of climbing you can get. It's just you on the rock and the sea, and it's really, really enjoyable. Sick!
Well, good.
We did it!
Yeah, man.
On-sighted in 5B.
Right before the rain clouds coming in.
Yeah. Brilliant, that was so fun, that was so chill. Yeah, he's gonna do the shot. That was so good. Yeah, I was chill the whole time. So Hazel and her husband Angus set up this company called Strong Mind, which is designed to give climbers the resources they need to develop a stronger mind for climbing. For example, if you've got a fear of falling, Strong Mind has resources and courses that can help you with that. So if you like the way Hazel and Angus were working with me on this trip, check out their YouTube channel. They also made a video about this trip as well. And also check out their website and courses. They cover the whole gamut of psychological issues we climbers can face in this unique sport. Definitely worth checking out Strong Mind. So I really enjoyed my first 2 days of deep water soloing, and I felt way more confident and calm, and I felt like I was enjoying the experience. But as climbers, there's always that voice in your head when you do something that just says, now do something harder. So on day 3, we went out in search of something hard. So we found this 6C Plus classic called Rich Bitch in a beautiful little cove, and it just looked perfect, nice and steep and gym-like climbing for me. So it seemed like a really hard boulder problem to start, and then the crux was like gaining this slippy, slopey ledge. But I think this really suited my climbing, and I just had to give it a go. So I'm just going to try and on-site it, but I'm pretty certain I'm going in here. So if I do go in, this would be my first fall whilst actually trying to climb something hard. 6C Plus is on the limit for me, especially on-site. I don't think I've ever on-sited 6C Plus actually. So this would be my hardest on-site. For me, it seemed like the best way to do the first move was to just dyno it because it was just really far away. But I was actually surprised at how scared I was to just get off the deck.
Just jump into a hold that you've never even touched, never even felt before, over the sea is a little bit intimidating, and it took me 8 minutes of hanging around before I gave it my first proper attempt.
Yeah!
Come on, mate, get the heel on. Good, 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 good. Come on, Mike. That's it, that's it. Woo!
If you have any kind of learning mindset, you will see this trip as a win, and I know that I certainly do, because he went from being totally scared, like half a metre above the water, to being able to climb a 12-metre route. I think that's a massive win, and it means that he's got this really solid foundation to work with if he does want to climb harder things, deep water soloing.
I just flashed a 6C plus deep water solo that felt 6C plus, and I did a big dyno, and then a cut loose, and then I went to one arm, and then I pulled up, and that was all kind of part of the plan. Oh man, that was epic, so epic.
I really can't thank Hazel and actually her husband Angus enough for their mentorship on this trip. It really did open my eyes to the way perhaps I approach scary things in climbing. Maybe my brute force method isn't actually the best way to do this. So if you like the way they do things, if you like their approach, then you should check out Strong Mind, which is courses and resources dedicated to climbers developing a strong mind for climbing. Go check it out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed watching our adventure and perhaps even learned something for it, and maybe even were inspired to go give it a try. As always, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next week. Peace. This has been an amazing trip.